Chapter 15. The next day, Angelica arose. It had been the first day of the year that she'd slept with the patio door to her balcony open. She had left it an inch or so open. In a few weeks, the door would be open fully, allowing the coolness of the night air to let her get off to sleep. She felt safe as the balcony was 4 floors up. Anyone wanting to get to her would have to climb into the patio garden of the duplex beneath her before scaling the walls. They would make that much noise that either her or the downstairs neighbour would have noticed and called the police long before they reached the top. It was like a renewal. The start of summer was the start of a new year as far as Angelica was concerned. The 1st of January wasn't when it all began for her. It was when the shoots of summer life began again. The town felt alive again with the activity of preparation. In her life, Angelica often found that preparation was better than the actual event. Like getting ready to go to the swimming pool. You anticipated warm water, loads of fun and splashing gently. But what you got was freezing cold water, dodging the plasters floating around the top of the pool, and feeling like a drowned rat by the end of it. But summer in Javea was as good as the preparation. Actually, even better. It was those long, hot, hazy days that promised so much, and delivered it all, plus more. She looked through the gap in the curtains made by the slight breeze from the open door. The sky was nothing but blue. The heat would follow, but for now it was mid-teens. Not bad for that time of the morning. Tommy hadn't stirred. Angelica got around an hour to herself in the week before he got out of bed. Well, before she got him out of bed. She used this time to potter around the kitchen, tidying up from the night before if needed before getting things ready for the day. She wanted control over what Tommy ate at school, so she made him a packed lunch. That took a few minutes, as did emptying the dishwasher on alternate days. 2 of them didn't have enough dishes to make it a daily activity. She dragged herself from one side of her double bed to the other. She always started the night on the left of the bed, and pretty much always woke up on the right. That meant she had to move to do things like turn off her alarm and check her phone. Angelica shuffled, and then picked up her phone, turning it the right way from the face-down sleeping position she always chose. A message displayed on the phone, the movement awakening it. A tear formed in the corner of Angelica's eye. She saw only the first few words as previewed on her phone, not the whole message. It was another message of abuse. She'd had a few over these over the past year or so, but as it had been a few weeks since the last, she had mistakenly thought they had stopped. Angelica could handle the words herself. She had become numb to the symbolism used and nastiness they represented. But she couldn't help thinking of the impact on Tommy if the texter had his or her own way. She suspected Patty, Tommy's father, but he was still locked up in a UK prison. It made her mind wander to what Freya's life would look like going forward. The routine of the day happened without much thought. Angelica dropped Tommy off at school and drove her car to the old town. This was where the market happened. As she neared the centre of the market, traffic slowed. The number of people walking past increased hugely, and the smells of food and leather filled the air. Angelica slowly made her way to the underground car park. She sat in line beneath where the hustle and bustle of the market was happening. Looking up and down for a space, Angelica spotted the flash Range Rover a few spaces down. No matter who you were, old or young, rich or poor, and no matter what side of the law you lived on, Javea Market was a draw. Angelica smiled. Grabbing a few shopping bags with a mind on the fresh fruit and vegetables sold there, she walked to the stairwell that would take her swiftly to the surface. The underground car park had a coldness that she knew wouldn't be present when she got out into the sun. As she walked up the stairwell, it felt eerily quiet. Usually there were a handful of people paying for their parking at the machines situated on one of the landings, or a couple walking up the stairs, arguing about where they had parked the car. But on this day, nothing. The daylight from above and the lights of the car park behind were present as she made it to the first step, but they both disappeared in the same instant. Angelica looked around. A shadowy figure moved in the recess at the bottom of the stairs over her left shoulder. Patty? She thought to herself. The memory of the message from earlier in the day still large in her mind. The smell of almonds filled the air. The shadow stepped out into the light. It wasn't Patty. It was the man she saw at the house she followed the Range Rover to. It was Frank. As he stepped closer, still with a huge grin on his face, he shoveled a handful of almonds into his mouth from a brown paper bag. Angelica grimaced as she could feel his almond breath on her face.